By the Bay, I'm David. And I've got two cats here with me now. I got Nico on the chair, and Elle is just on the floor over there. She was just crawling up here, rubbing up against the speaker. What do I want to read on? I'm going to read on the energy of Donald Trump in a recent interview he did on Fox, where they were asking him about declassifying documents. And they asked about the Epstein files, and he said he would declassify them. And then he paused a second later and said, well, you know, maybe not everything, because, you know, it's a bad thing to be accused of, you know, doing bad things with young girls. You know, he always seems to have a real sore spot about that. He's real protective about that. Always. You know, what would he care if he released the records of the Epstein flight unless he was on it, which he was. You think he'd care at all if Bill Gates is on there, or Bill Clinton, or we got both cats on the same chair. He wouldn't care. He'd release it in a second because he'd want to promote the scandal. But in this case, he doesn't want to release it, which means that it's not in his best interest. You know, again, if Mitch McConnell was on there, or any other political figure that he doesn't like at this very second, he'd release it. So I don't want to read too deep on the Epstein stuff. I don't want to read on that. Okay, sorry, it's just not what I want to read. But what I want to read around the energy of why is he backtracking so much? I think we know the answer, but let's see what the cards can put as an underlying reason. Okay, entertainment purposes only. We are about to have a kitten, come up here and join us. Foundation of the reading is the Page of Pentacles. Well, hello. Say hello to the audience. This is Elle. She is a very curious Torby. A tortoise shell and a tabby. She looks like she's been made from the parts of many different cats. What are you doing? Come here. You can sit on my lap. You won't sit on my lap. The other thing she doesn't do is sit still for any length of time. It's always moving. Go attack something. And leave the black cat alone. Right? Yeah. What's the Page of Pentacles represent? Young people. He doesn't want to be exposed because he has exposure here. And Epstein is known for one thing, and that's for young women, young people. It doesn't even have to be women. It could be young people. I think Epstein specialized with women, but that doesn't mean that you stick with that. So he's very concerned about that. And the agreements and the money. I suspect that you can look at those travel logs and see when Trump's on there and know who else was on the plane that was maybe underaged. And I would suspect that there were several flights where you've got that. What's worse is that there's agreements between the men and what was going to happen on the flights. The Lolita Express, I believe, as Epstein called it. And it's not even just the flights on the plane. It's the parties that Epstein threw. It's going to show the relationship and how close Trump and Epstein were. And we know what Epstein's about and how people view it. In the past, they have the Ace of Cups. I think when Epstein was arrested, Donald Trump was probably losing his mind. And I suspect that when Donald Trump was really, really scared and Epstein's behind bars, all of a sudden, guards fall asleep on the job, cameras in the wing don't work, you know, all sorts of things. You know, guards didn't do the ones that fell asleep, they didn't do their rotations. You know, folks, so many convenient things that would allow for a prisoner to pass away, commit suicide in their cell. You know, how amazing is that? That problem needs to go away. Current situation is the Fool card. Yeah, he wouldn't, if he was elected, he would not release this. I do hope the information is released, though. People would look at him in an all new light. For a lot of us, we've already seen it. And in some ways, he was foolish to say yes, he would release it. He tried to backpedal, but he had already walked off the cliff at that point. Overarching energy is the Seven of Wands. I think at some point that some of the girls on the manifesto, maybe some legislation will pass that will allow them to extend their statute of limitations or do something about it. Maybe some law will get passed. I don't know how that would work because I don't know if you can make it retroactive. But I see a lot of fighting and probably more court cases spawning out of this. You got the Seven of Wands and the Seven of Coins. Almost like you've got 7 lawsuits waiting to come after him for actions that he did involving young girls and Jeffrey Epstein. The lesson to be learned from this is the Five of Wands, the Drunken Hillbilly Brawl card. Ain't no brawl like a drunken hillbilly brawl. If information and when information is released about Jeffrey Epstein involving Trump, it's going to create a firestorm. That's literally like hitting the beehive with a stick and watching the hornets go just around wanting to sting anyone and everyone around them. But at the same time, if there's a lot of evidence, that can go to court and show the stuff. This could certainly peel off more people off the Trump train, if you know what I mean. Outcome is going to be the Eight of Wands. If and when this information is leaked, there will be quick changes. If these girls are ever given the opportunity to sue him, it would probably be civil courts as opposed to criminal. If they were ever allowed to sue him, they would do so quickly. But I think also, if the names were ever released, it's going to get broadcasted. Everybody's going to find out about it. Everybody. With regards to Epstein, because again, people are going to be curious, give me the energy around all these strange coincidences. The camera's not working, guards not doing their rotations, people not reporting that the camera's not working, people falling asleep in their jobs, all these things that have happened. Oh, by the way, let me throw one debunk thing out there, or debunk a myth. It's been postulated or suggested that William Barr visited Epstein in his cell like the day before he was killed. That is not correct. I did look that up in Snopes and looked for information regarding that a few weeks ago. I could find nothing on it. There's no evidence on that. And when I looked it up on Snopes, they said basically there's no evidence that Epstein was ever in that prison. He would have signed in. The logs for the Attorney General did not show him visiting Epstein or doing anything along those lines. So let that one go, okay? If you believed in that one or you spread it around, let it go. It's not true. So as much as we want to link Bill Barr to this, because Bill Barr's dad hired Epstein as a school teacher, so that doesn't mean Bill Barr didn't do things to protect the legacy of his family. His father's legacy, his legacy, and the university, and wash all that clean. That doesn't mean that didn't happen. I'm just saying he wasn't there that day. Okay? Always good to be factual. What's the question here? The question was going to be, the situation. Energy around the situation leading up to Epstein's passing. The Tower card. Well, it just seems that all these protective systems all failed at once. What a coinkydink. Crossed with the King of Swords. And it was ordered. Yep. somebody wanted this to happen. I am not surprised by that. It wasn't Jack Smith and the Empress. Somebody wanted this to happen, and they took care of business. Maybe they were trying to protect their families, protect their interests, protect their legacies. Epstein dying protected a lot of wealthy people. They just needed somebody who had the power and influence to get the job done. Gosh, I wonder who that could be. Just because he didn't visit the prison doesn't mean he didn't have a hand in things. The Chariot. This was planned out as the events unfolded. A plan was made to execute the Tower plan. So it was a plan that was a slow rolling, progressive plan to get everything situated in such a way that the Tower moment could happen. Money was paid. Bribes were made. People were paid to be quiet. We got the justice here, the scales of justice brought here. Certainly justice was denied because Epstein did not get his day in court. Minor settlements and stuff like that, but the 2 prison guards got a reprimand or something like that. No, that's not so good here. A lot of money exchanging hands. A lot of money. Probably because there's a lot of powerful people involved. So a lot of money exchanged hands here to make this happen. The lesson to be learned is then it's misrepresented as a suicide. It's lied to as a suicide, but this absolutely was planned out. Look at all the major arcana here. 1, 2, 3. Major arcana 4. Major arcana and an ace. No wonder Trump's worried about the FBI search warrant and saying they're going to assassinate him. Between John F. Kennedy getting assassinated and Jeffrey Epstein being killed in prison. Presidents, either you could be a president and be offed, or be a child molester and be offed. It's almost like if you're both, your chances of being offed are twice as good. The outcome is the Devil card. Another major arcana, horrible card in the outcome here. It was absolutely done to protect people. It was done to silence people. It was done to protect people. Some people are really going to get off the hook on this one. He didn't die of natural causes. He didn't die of suicide. That didn't happen. And I'm not big into conspiracy theories, but if somebody said, we did an investigation, we concluded suicide, I wouldn't believe it. That doesn't make any sense. I mean, you can see where he might not want to go to prison for what he did and stuff like that, but that's not believable. It just isn't. I'm sure he would have liked to have committed suicide, and probably I think they put him on suicide watch so he wouldn't do it. So what did he do? I mean, how would Jeffrey Epstein bribe all these people while he's in prison? No. It doesn't track. It doesn't track. It doesn't track enough. Okay. Will the Epstein information ever be made available for the public? Just a little 4-carder. 8 of coins, yeah, I think it will be eventually. There might be some stuff that's redacted or left out, but I think a lot of the information will be out there. Empress. Again, I think some of the information that's not out there got taken care of. You know what I mean? But people that were involved in it, they'll be given a little bit of heads up time that it's coming. Oh, and some people that were on that list, their lives are going to be turned upside down. Yeah, this list will be released. It's not going to be released soon, but it will be released eventually. It will get out there. People will have new perspectives on some wealthy people here. Some people will be people that you like that are on that list. Some people, they'll be innocent of anything. But pretty much Jeffrey Epstein and a lot of people are going to be in a lot of trouble. And here's the thing. For somebody like me, who didn't know about Jeffrey Epstein or anything along those lines, I could be forgiven if I don't know that he's into teenage girls and that taking a flight on his jet plane, the Lolita Express, is going to expose me to having 14-year-old girls want to give me foot massages. I'm 58. The last thing I want is some 14-year-old girl giving me a foot massage. You know what I mean? I don't want anything from a 14-year-old girl. Heck, I don't even want them washing my car. I'll give them the money at the charity thing, but no way. I'm taking my car to a car wash. I'm not having a bunch of teenagers washing my car. No. Ew. Yuck. Bleh. But if you're somebody like Bill Gates or Bill Clinton or Donald Trump or who else has been implicated in this thing? Who's the lawyer on Fox News who kept his underwear on? Hang on for a second. Or Alan Dershowitz, had to look it up. Yeah, if you're one of those guys, you know what the reputation is. You know what's going to happen when you're on that plane. You're not so naive. You get exactly one break. I think most people would say, you know what? Maybe you got invited. Maybe you didn't know what everybody else knew. But after you've taken that plane once, then you know. They might cut you some slack if you took a ride back on the plane to take you back where you were before. But if you ever went for a second trip, no, sorry. Your credibility's gone at that point. Just own it. Just own it. And this is one of the things that led Melinda Gates to leave Bill Gates, is because he was associating with Jeffrey Epstein, and she told him under no certain circumstances was he to hang out with her some more. And then when information got leaked that no, his name was on the flight logs, she said, nope, that's it. That was lying in the sand. Goodbye. Because it makes you wonder what he was doing on that plane. All the times he was on there when you're hanging out with that guy. You know, maybe Bill Gates is completely, utterly clueless. But I don't think he gets the benefit of the doubt on that one. Not when this is the subject matter. Okay? All right. We'll leave it here. It's an icky subject. I do not like reading on it. So this is about as close as I'll get to it. I do hope that one woman who brought up a lawsuit against Trump and withdrew it, I do hope she brings up that lawsuit again. And I hope she can pursue that lawsuit and win it. All right. Thank you very much for watching this channel and supporting it. I appreciate it. If you like these videos, check out Tarot of the Seven Seas, my international channel, or Twin Tarot with Gary and David, which is a tarot channel just like this one, but with my identical twin brother Gary, where the two of us harp and snark and have a good time looking at tarot readings and making fun of people that we're reading about. Not the audience. Not so much the audience. For folks just discovering this channel recently for the first time, welcome to the channel. I hope you found this reading insightful, and I'll catch you on the next one. Take care.